Hey, Dave O'Sullivan here, and in today's lesson, what I want to talk about is using a simple three-step process to make sure that your patients stay the course and follow the treatment plan all the way to the final session. And the three steps that you need to do, okay, I always mess this up with my hands, got no idea why I do that, but the three steps, okay, that you're going to need to do if you want patients to stay the course of treatment is you need to really map out a clear plan in the initial assessment. So that's step one. Map out a clear plan in the first session. Okay, so this doesn't have to be something where it's really detailed and it's like, okay, we're going to be doing this, this, and this. All the patient wants is a 10,000-foot overview of the plan. Okay, so what that's going to do is that's going to give them some direction and it's going to give them some confidence in you as a therapist, because remember, a patient is going to trust a therapist far more that has a plan than a therapist that has the plan in their head and they're just going session to session. The patient needs to see that they're on the right road, and that goes into step number two. Within that plan, you have to have milestones. Okay, so it's all well and good having the start and the finish line, but what are the steps in between that to get the patient from A to B to C to D to E to F, which is ultimately the dream outcome? So that's where the milestones become very important, okay? So the first thing is you have to map out the plan in the initial assessment. The second thing is you have to chunk it down into bite-sized chunks with noticeable milestones. Now, the biggest mistake people do with milestones is they say something like, okay, well, the milestone is going to be a lunge or a squat, and then we're going to do this, this, and this. Okay? You have to look at it from the patient's point of view, okay? What are the milestones that the patient's going to notice throughout the day, okay? Because the patient needs to feel the difference throughout the day to know that they're on the right track to achieving the dream outcome, okay? Now, the milestone starts with them, but what the milestone is really doing is it's giving you something else that starts with them, and that's momentum. Okay, you're building momentum and you're getting the patient feeling like they're winning and that they're going to go the distance and actually achieve the dream outcome. Okay, so in the mentorship, we talk a lot about having a fast start. Okay, because you've only got a certain amount of time in a session to prescribe the right exercises. Okay, do a certain amount of hands-on treatment, probably. Okay, and then give them 2 or 3 exercises to take away and go home. Okay, so it's about being able to prescribe the right exercises at the right time that's going to keep your hands-on treatment gains, okay, and get long-lasting results so that the pain just doesn't come back again the minute they get out to the car park. But it's integrating your rehab into everyday life, okay, and that is the key. Okay, where's there an opportunity to practice this throughout the day so that they can feel the difference and feel like they're winning? Okay, so that the first one is there needs to be a plan built out in the initial assessment. That's non-negotiable. If you want your patient to follow all the way through, you have to set expectations. Number 2, there needs to be milestones, okay, that the patient can see that they're winning. And number 3, if you want your patient to follow it all the way through, you have to get results. Okay, the patient needs to feel the difference and feel like they're progressing. And that's where the first 2 things are going to tie into the third one, okay, where we have the plan, they're hitting the milestones and they can feel the difference. Okay, now if your patient is stagnating after 2 or 3 sessions, then you're probably not in the right area or you're not giving them the appropriate stimulus at the right time. Okay, so that's the thing that I can't help you with, like mapping out a plan and the milestones. Okay, that's all, that's step 1 and 2. But if you actually don't walk the walk and deliver results for the patient, if your hands-on treatment isn't effective, if you're not prescribing the right rehab exercises, if the rehab exercises aren't the right stimulus at the right time to the nervous system, and they're not getting a processing change what they can feel, and that's long lasting, then the other 2 steps are going to be essentially useless. Okay, so you have to take a hard, long look at yourself. Where am I falling down at the moment? Is it number 1, that I'm not outlining a proper plan with the patient? Number 2, is it the milestones? And I'm focusing more on just prescribing exercises like strengthening my glutes, strengthening the quads, the core, without actually looking at the milestones that the patient wants to achieve. And then number 3, if you're doing the 2 of them, is your actual hands-on, is your rehab exercises that you're prescribing, are they the right thing at the right time? And are they actually making a difference to the patient? Okay. And if you go back and you audit yourself here and you look at those 3 things, I guarantee it's going to be one of those 3 things that isn't happening if your patients aren't following through all the way to the final session. Now, if you want more help with this, Okay, if you want a step-by-step system, and if you want my assessments, my hands-on treatment techniques, my rehab exercises that I use in my own practice, I'm just about to go to do an in-service training with my own team right now. I'm going to head up to the clinic. If you want all of those things, if you want the things I use in pro sport, then just send me a message with the word mentor, and I'm more than happy to have a conversation. I've also got a free training on this. If you want the training, just say yes, please below. You can also just put yes, please in the comments below and send me a message. If you want to do both of those things, absolutely no problem. But if you just want the training for now, just pop a yes, please in the comments below, and I'll send that straight over to you. Okay, so remember, initial assessment, 10,000 foot overview, milestones, and then you have to walk the walk. You have to get results with your patients. Okay, so if they're not staying the